March 22, 2023. Marcus Giavanni here. David Kenny, at David Kenny, Kelly Jean Brown. Bro. Gosh, it's bro, folks. Um, so when people go, Giovanni, bro, I could have been her brother, man. From a different mother. But this guy, David Kenny, I'm not going to bullshit nobody. He is a brilliant guy, man. And I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does. Now, I don't know whether he's a Democrat, Republican. We don't know. We're not snoopers. We don't go snooping in people's social stuff. That's not our job. That's artificial intelligence. That's that guy. We don't judge. We just index and upload organic content to Google, and we're verified. And then our content is used as a foundation for Google ads at the top and at the bottom. So if you see our content and there's no ads at the top, and you see all the candidates at the bottom, they couldn't write enough content to be able to pay to be at the top of that. How about that? At the bottom, that Google ads is paying for that organic content that you see. And when it's completely free is when you don't see any ads, and that's virgin. And this is the stuff we don't teach our children. And this is where Denver could really use a guy like David Kenny. I heard an article come out. I got an alert by Google, and I checked it out. I didn't read it all the way through because that's not what I do. Artificial intelligence does, so I just use what I've developed as inverted pyramid content based off algorithms, and I can see who the players are. This is what AI does because it's teaching me how to do this. And if there's anybody that wants to question that, let's debate it. I don't care who you are. But when you take a look at the only thing under this guy and this chick, okay, and I've said some things, wrote some things about all the candidates, and it wasn't me. I don't. People say worse things about me, folks. I guarantee you that 1,000%. Because I'll never amount to anybody for anything. Because I'm just me, and that's why you see what you see. I'm a fluke. I don't even have a high school diploma. Ha ha, everybody laughed at me. Ha ha ha. I went to a high school of 4,000 students. This is a true story. I beat up a bully that terrorized our school for years, and the school that he went to before that, and the school they went to before that. He was a big boy. Rumors like, oh, the karate in Japan ain't gonna help you. Nelson over that guy. Okay. But when you see a guy like that twirling around people in wheelchairs and taking their crutches and throwing them on the roof and nobody goes and gets it, like, oh, we can't. I got it. I was always around to see that shit. Always. And I go get it for them. Their glasses. Because spin them around in a wheelchair. I think it's real funny. Guy's got a bag hung to their ankle. Urine bag. People didn't even see that shit. I saw it. My mom's a nurse, man. My mom taught me everything about everything. Everything you want to know about sex, but was afraid to ask. Go get the book. That's what my mom gave me. Here, boom. Answer your own. Get your own questions. You figure out what's best for you. Don't listen to me. So, when you think about the three people that are on this results for David Kenny, Kelly Jean, and moi, without punctuations, this is what I get, and some people get. Most people will always get it, and it'll tell you what information is missing on the page right here. David, at David Kenny, and Janine. I wrote that content. Because for me, I never even, well, now that I know who he is, he's a brilliant guy. And I don't think he should not stop being who he is. And that's, to me, kind of a red flag in regards to what his partner, girlfriend, lover, whatever you want to stabilize her as, okay? That's all you. We're going by merits and ability. And this is kind of a game changer because we don't snoop in social channels. We're not snoopers, we're observers, indexers. And until the media and them all realize that this is real, and there's some big people starting to come to play that are going to know how to monitor everybody, just as the media thinks they know how to monitor. And the thing that we all have to realize that we can't bullshit artificial intelligence. If you're sending a text of whatever, good, bad, or indifferent, it goes into your record, your social record. Look up social credit scores and rankings.us. That's the butterfly effect, folks. But I knew this because I was around when my dad was part of that system when they were launching the financial credit system. My dad was one of the reliability engineers involved in those projects. Look it up. But you won't see those engineers. Like, I'm just talking about the people that are slowly paying attention. Realize that I didn't get here by accident, folks. And until Denver realized that we're we're Silicon Mountain. We're not Silicon Mountain, man. We're the metaverse. And it's not nothing that some 28-year-old guy came up with, thought he could fool everybody. But the one thing that he can't fool, AI. So everything that they talked about, everything that they did to lead up to where they did their advertising, Facebook changed its name. Maybe in the background they didn't really know, weren't going to plan the name, but how we know they didn't change the name. And when you fool a bunch of people because of marketing, it all depends on the back conversations. These are the blockchain that go into each one of our ledgers. So when you think about blockchain development, we are now part of that whole equation of a end use of a digital currency. But you have to get to the front end, and a lot of people way in the back that have all this knowledge of developing, which I do not do. I understand it. I understand it. And so what I do is I figure out, okay, how do I figure out a way to create Google Ledger pages that are secured? Whether you like it or not, it's secured. And to be on Google, if you know the right people to connect to, and if you're getting, and Google has things set up so you can be notified on anything. You just have to give more information of who you are. If you're willing to give your driver's license, your photo ID up to Google, do they have a handle on you? Legal. They know everything about you. That's what I did. So all my emails, everything I do, Google knows everything from the time I opened up my first um, email from Google in 1995. When I started on that book, Nelson versus the United States of America, people were saying, oh, I wouldn't line that with my cat box. That guy, one, never read it, especially the intro. I lost my children. They made me sign my parental rights over. I was dehumanized, and yet they couldn't destroy my dignity. And so, while they all chase their stories on never-ending stories by bad people that don't like me no matter what I do, the reason why I realize what this is because when you have a guy, everybody has a person in their life when they need something, like with me, when people need something, they call me. When they want something, they call the other guy. And I'm all right with that. I don't call my people because it never works out. If I call them because I was in trouble, something, oh, I got plans. Don't do that. I don't do that. I don't put myself in a situation. But I do have people that help me, but they don't know me. They're my helpers. But then when they call me, I'm there. You know what I mean? I'll drop anything for them. And I've dropped some pretty heavy things for people. And one of the things I've dropped was to try to get my name on the ballot. And so when I didn't get my name, because I knew based on some algorithms there was some chatter, I can pick up chatter on the internet. Not only that, but I can write stories what I think a group of people are going to talk about, let's say a mayoral election, and pattern match it because why? I have the authority to do so because I'm a candidate. And I'm still a candidate as a write-in candidate. Though they don't take it as serious, I still had to fill out legal documents to earn the right to be a write-in. But I'm only a write-in because I was disqualified by a group of people that didn't understand that on February 6th, in the court of law, 414, a city attorney verified the existence of the Spear Amendment and also verified that they haven't enforced that law in years, which matches my whole argument for 13 years that were told to me by other people since 2007 when I moved into the city, when I realized that this town was nothing like I saw in Florida when I moved here in 2005 after my my family was almost killed in a hurricane and my death of my father like at Christmas time in '04. So, Kelly, if you want to match your pathway stories, I got some stories, girl, that'll curl your panties, man. And as far as the guy, David Kenny, you're lucky that you have that person. But the other thing that you're unlucky about is that you're not being forthright about you running for mayor. I indexed it. That's what I do for a job, Kelly. Hello, tell your IT people to fuck off. We know who they are. I mean, you guys don't even. Do you see this? There's only one listing. There'll be more after they Googled it because then all the stuff will migrate and oh goddamn, what's this new conversation? This is Virgin. No results found for David Kenny. So there's really no content on this guy. There's another David Kenny with the Nielsen Group, and I know them. I was a household for them for many many years back in the day. Um, and I'm pretty sure he's the one who set up our account or had something. But you're talking 1978, 76. So I don't know where he was during that time, but I remember anything that happened in my dad's life when it had to do with computers or the internet and getting secured lines in our house put in for my dad's work. I was there. I watched the whole process from the time the guy came out, broke out his ladders from the van. No vans like the Comcast. It was different vans. Vans like, wow, man, that is a badass van. What's in there? And you're drilling into your house, and your neighbors are like, hey, who's that van working on your house? Is that a military van? I don't know. I don't ask questions. Oh, come on. You know what's going on. I don't ask questions. My dad's a military man. When he says don't ask questions, you don't fucking ask questions. That's how I was raised, folks. Because loose lips sink ships. And what these folks don't understand is their lips been sinking this ship for quite a long time. But now that David Kenny entered the picture, this kind of puts a different spin on the game. He's not running for office, so he shouldn't have to give up his life. And he shouldn't have to be ashamed for anything that he's ever done in his life. Okay, he didn't create that homeless. He didn't create, none of them did. And now that I understand who David Kenny is, now the proof's in the pudding. Is he smart enough to realize what artificial intelligence is about and realize that there's no way I could have been mayor? Because it'll take at least 4 years. I'm working on the mortal time to get everybody Dewey Decibel, get all of our businesses indexed the way they need to be indexed, and then tell the world we're open for business at cityandcountyofdenver.us. And that website is Robert at cityandcountyofdenver.us. Robert W. Spear. I love that guy, man. I mean, I don't when you look up City Beautiful and you look at all the words that are real and not these pronoun and nouns and putting his and her by your name. Those are destroyers. And I know lawyers that do that. His, her. They're caught up in that whole thing. And it's you can't do that with artificial intelligence. It needs that straight line always. Period. A to B, A to Z. It doesn't matter. Binary or alphabetical. It needs that straight line. So an infinity for binary codes by people that have experienced, um, have verified meta tags to match the meta descriptions that they say they can do. So when Kelly comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm the future Denver," and all, Kelly, you don't even have a clue. It appears that you've completely taken everything that I have and tried to reverse engineer it, and that's why you see what you see here. Because on August 15, when Kelly tells everybody that she didn't want to be mayor, or she was thinking about through the summer about being mayor, she got fucking KO'd on July 21st by University of Denver because we sent emails to quite a few people, the board of directors and administrators on regards to Janine Davidson. We have a copy of all those emails. So does Google. It's all, this is what it means. You cannot go not answer an email, but you have to go out of your way to make sure you send enough emails so if you had to go to court, which I did, and I won, and that's precedent. So these people that say, well, I didn't get the email. Hey, I sent 36 of them. Well, you know what? You didn't open up 36 emails that had to do with somebody that you're trying to sue and he explained himself in it. You're wrong. Not only that, but that's criminal. I don't want to press charges, Your Honor. But you don't hear those stories. Because it's not about those stories. It's about Kelly, bro, declared. And the story about her, she told Wikipedia that she quit. No. No. I'm not doing, I declined. That we indexed. And if you go into the Google, into Wikipedia, look up the edit in the history and scroll down to the very beginning of the election time, and you'll see where that content was removed. I indexed it. I'm probably the only one in the, well, no, I can't say that. I'm the only opened. And I had to be open because I wanted to be mayor. Now a lot of the secret's out. Now you're going to find out who the real players are. Because we don't need the government to do what we have to do with cityandcountydenver.us.com and all of it. Because it's designed to be operated by the best people, not color. So if everybody that AI chose or chooses to run cityandcountydenver.com, these are, folks, this is what I do. If I'm not the best guy, I'll tell you. But if there's nobody else at the ticket, I'm the best guy. And I am far from the best guy. When you think about cityandcountydenver.com, there's only there's a couple now. But the number one choice, it still doesn't matter, is Michael Hancock. Give that guy a fucking chance to make some fucking money. Take everything that he's learned that you can't do. Wellington Webb told me when I shook his fucking hand. I told him stuff that I knew to find out what kind of guy and what he knew. I already knew because when it came out my fucking mouth. And he said, the city can't make money. It sounds like you're trying to let the city make money. We cannot impede the citizens or create competition against our citizens. I almost, I almost want to kiss him, man. I almost want to give him a hug. Oh my God, you're the savior. I, I mean, think about it. If he was crooked or he would have said anything else but that. He said everything that he needed to say in a flow. It's called conversation flow. He didn't hesitate. He didn't do it, and he looked me right in my eyes. And when he looked me in my eyes, I looked him right back, and he just realized right then that this guy was a real person. That this motherfucker is a badass man. And he had to excuse himself from that library. But much kudos to him. I would have picked a different statue for him myself, um, but that's okay. I would have got one the way he looks now because I think he just looks like a mayor. He looks like a man that enjoyed life and that he's about to leave his legacy behind. And right now, that legacy has been tarnished by people that have been manipulating our metaverse and just like Mark Zuckerberg. He tried to manipulate, and so what happened is when he told it Facebook changed its name to Meta. Meta just means beyond. Doesn't say metaverse. It doesn't say. And when you understand metaverse, you got to go way back into the whole point of building yourself a structure that can even be found. That's your metaverse. Every one of our metaverses are operated by our own selves. Google gives everybody the opportunity. But for you all to learn what I learned, it would take you since 1996, 1995. And I walked away from it after 98 because I got burnt out. But I kept my PDQs up on the languages and stuff. And when I got to Denver, it all fell apart. Everything I read on the internet in Miami was a fucking lie. And I saw this thing where they take kids away from the families and they destroy fathers. And I just was like, yeah. And that's what my ex told me. And then it turned out exactly what she was showing me was what I was being tipped off to what was coming. And so when I've been fighting for my children, they've been putting some restrictions, more dehumanizing, breaking my civil rights, and you can't call anybody. I've done everybody you can call. And they're all above the law. They're all above accountability up till now. On April 4, 2023, if they don't change what they built, then their own demise will happen on their own demise in their own words, because I built a betterment virus called the wormhole 2023.com. And it's just for the betterment of our future children and our future grandparents and our future great grandparents to realize that we can't operate on these ideologies on the World Wide Web, which is our entry point to each one of our metaverses. Your handles are your emails that you have, all the email accounts that you have, all the false accounts that you have. I mean, law enforcement are just now catching up, and once they learn about the voice latent print, the digital voice latent print, you think fingerprints have to be, you need a technician to go in there and pull that print off in a room. In the digital world, in the metaverse, you don't need such a thing. And that's why everybody's trying to be the me first on the attaboy of who discovered what. What's coming, I didn't discover it. I just made it better. I'm a reliability engineer. I'm like my father that I watched and sat on his lap for years while he brought his work home with him and hooked up our phone that you had to pick up and answer, that had a receiver and a microphone, and or is a receiver a microphone, or what is which? I know. Just look it up. I'm just saying words right now, just so I can garnish as much words as I can within this video, within a certain amount of time that I write, that communicates with artificial intelligence, not so much the people that are not going to actually read this, and the ones that do see the title say, oh, who's going to search that? HR departments.